There was something outside my tent. I don't know if it was an animal or a person. Shit, how I very scared.
Oh my god! My hair is stuck!
I've been travelling solo since I was 18, and I've always felt that these experiences are important in teaching me to enjoy my own company. But with work, it hasn't always been easy to carve out meaningful me time. So I've decided to book a trip to Bangkok to explore and camp in the countryside all alone.
I'm very smelly.
And there's one thing I really want to find out. Can travelling cure my burnout? For this trip, I'm setting myself a budget of $300 for 7 days, excluding flight tickets. The best part? It's on my company's dime. Also, Jetstar gave me this solo travel kit. Very fancy. There's a journal inside. There's also this travel tripod thing. I think I'm gonna use this. A day before my trip, I had some practice, packed everything I needed, and hoped for the best.
We are in Bangkok! Bye!
Please mind the gap between train and platform.
And then, I was on my own. Okay, it's time to make the decision on what to eat for lunch. Even though I've solo travelled multiple times, I still get nervous before each trip. So I got some advice from a seasoned traveller.
Hello!
This is Jacinda, who quit her job to travel across Southeast Asia in a camper van for several months.
Just think good, positive thoughts only. Like, don't even think about the world is so dangerous. Because I think if you were wary of everybody, nobody come and talk to you and be friendly and help you lah.
With Jacinda's advice, I was ready to rock and roll. After a series of unfortunate events, I got the things I needed and headed back for an early night before I set off to campsite the next morning.
Day 2 begins.
I was headed to a campsite in Khao Yai National Park, but there was something very, very, very important I had to do first. I think I have money for one little Yakult, a 5-hour journey, a motorbike ride, and a torrential storm later.
Blanket, sleeping bag, and then this.
I arrived at Khao Yai National Park. I'd say things went pretty smoothly.
Deers are cute. I'm just chilling out.
Before the sun started to set, I got to work.
Honey lemon. After you see everybody's tent, then you see my tent. It's that small one. So small. So I'm done setting up everything, and I realized why everybody has a shade, because if it rains, I'm screwed. I can't cook. Let's not think that way. Let's think positively.
Luckily, the rain cleared shortly after and I quickly got to cooking. As the night went on, I even made friends with some fellow campers.
I'm just here for holiday.
อ๋อวันหยุด Holiday.
Holiday.
อ๋อ
The non-human ones too.
There was something outside my tent. I don't know if it was an animal or a person.
I accidentally left the trash bag outside, and now I think the porcupine is ransacking it.
Shit, how I very scared.
Go away!
Shit, I shouldn't have left the...
Oh my god! My hair is stuck! panic. Oh. Shit, how I very scared I cannot deal. I'm scared. I'm damn scared.
After an eventful second day, I got up really early for a hike. I met up with Merk, my guide for the hike.
First name Puttapong.
Puttapong.
Nickname Mực.
Mực.
Yeah.
Okay, Mực.
I found out that Merk had worked in Khao Yai National Park as a ranger for 29 years before finally retiring last year. But his passion for the forest never went away, and he became a guide for tourists and locals who came to explore the park.
It's our lucky day. Apparently that's the sound of gibbons. Max said this is elephant footprint. I've never seen a wild elephant. Will we get to see one today?
To be honest, coming out here was an escape of sorts from my life back home. Singapore has one of the highest rates of burnout in the world, and it seems that many of us often see going overseas as a way to change our lives, be it through short trips or sabbaticals. I guess I'm here too to see if my solo trip abroad can indeed help ease my burnout.
We got a hitchhike back to visitor
You go to
center.
tourist. Go there.
Okay. Starting to rain. Starting to rain. Okay, I'm gonna shower and clean up and then head off for the sunset. Hopefully I make it in time to see the sunset. It's an elephant! Oh, oh my god! Look at that! Right there! And it's cubs! I've never seen a wild elephant before. I've never seen a wild bear before! And it just crossed right in front of us. Oh my god. Nature is amazing, it really is. The thing about traveling alone is that you get to discover these like beautiful places. And the emotions are so much more intense. Maybe because there's no one for you to like talk to and expel that emotion outwards. You keep it all inside. It just feels a lot more intense. And it makes you appreciate life and feel like there's so much more to explore in this world. I'm so happy. To be very honest, I've been feeling very, very, very safe. Since the start of this trip, I actually haven't felt lonely, which is quite surprising. Maybe it's also because I'm older now. I learned to appreciate my own company, so I don't actually feel lonely. In fact, I feel very well rested, and I feel like the time I have with myself is precious, and I'm holding on to every moment of it. The view is so nice! I guess this is goodbye.
It was time for me to leave Khao Yai and head back to Bangkok. I would have loved to cab all the way there, but my budget didn't allow me to, so I took a bus instead. After a long journey travelling through the countryside, I was finally back in the city. Over the next 2 days in Bangkok, I walked, shopped, and ate, and ate, and ate. Honestly, I feel like if you're not really fussy about where you eat and live pretty much like a local, spending $300 within 7 days is pretty manageable. I've been alone for the most part, so back in the city, I was curious to meet other travelers.
before I came, I was in Singapore working for a company for 4 years that needed me to travel all over the world for more than half the year. I got to see how big the world is. I got to see places that are outside of Singapore. It kind of resulted in me making a conscious decision to move.
For me, right, I constantly feel like when I travel, it just reminds me that I'm not that big. Like my problems also not very big. And in a way, it helps to ground me.
If Singaporeans, if they feel stressed, I think traveling is something that they might be able to understand the world a bit more. And you realize that, hey, you know, maybe it's not so bad. I go out and try it out when I'm still young.
It was finally the last day of my trip, and I spent well under my $300 budget.
So I was pondering a little bit about, does traveling actually help with burnout? Because a lot of times, right, like I experience this is I'm so excited to travel, but every time I'm almost done with my trip, I start to really dread going back to work. Within a week of getting back to work, all the effects of traveling kind of fade. So I think the question whether traveling really cures burnout, it's not an easy question to answer. I feel like temporarily, yes, like for sure. But in the long term, I don't think so.
While I agree that traveling doesn't necessarily solve feelings of stress and burnout, I've come to see it more as a way to reset myself.
Traveling is a way for me to kind of break out of that little bubble that I'm in whenever I dive really deep into work. What traveling does is to give you new experiences, open your eyes to how big this world is, the opportunity to be really close to nature, and the enlightenment that burnout is also temporary. It's also a feeling that will pass, and by breaking out of that bubble once every few months, I feel excited again about life. Now it's time for me to say bye to this place, and we can always come back again.
Guys, this